Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're coming to you with another crisp review, and today we're going to be looking at the 30 centimeter Kiryu 2003. This is the PX reissue that just came out here in 2016 of fall, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off and we'll look at some of the details. As you can tell, the detail on this is absolutely incredible, being that it is a X Plus figure in the 30 centimeter scale, so about a foot tall. And this is obviously based off of the 2003 Tokyo SOS Kiryu, without any of the heavy arms or anything. So he's just got regular hand and standard, body type. This thing is really bulky. It feels really heavy because it does have a lot of support. This is all very, very thick, so you don't have to worry about it collapsing over time or anything, so it's going to stay like this. Look up close at the chest, and as you can see, there's a lot of the inner working sculpted correctly. We have the MFS3 right here. It's a nice white lettering over top of a black, so it really kind of pops out and looks like it's actually printed on there. His hand is the kind of the gimp hand, the replacement one. And we do have the nice inner workings inside of his drill arm. So that looks really cool. Heading down, we have his kind of crotch piece. It's all very, very nicely done. Very thick, and everything is sculpted incredibly well. He's got his nice big knees, and then his feet, which are very large, which makes this very, very nice. And they've got even detail on the bottom here, which this all looks really nice as well. It's even painted down here, which is great. For his neck and head, obviously we have all these nice inner workings in here, and all of this is sculpted awesomely. Everything around his neck. This even almost looks like an overlapping piece here. We have the nice ingrains in the back of almost like his, what would be ear horn area. I don't really know what to call that. These spikes right here are super nice. The one on top of his head is perfect size. Inside his mouth we do get individually sculpted teeth, and in the back we do have the maser cannons sculpted in. His eyes are sculpted really nicely as well. They are almost, you can kind of see it. It looks like a kind of like a yellow back with a clear graded piece of plastic over it to give it more of that dimensional look that his eye had. Not just painted yellow, but it actually has that 3D look to it where there's a clear piece over a solid piece in the back. And then the sides of his face obviously have all of the necessary cuts and grooves. It all looks really nice. You can tell right here that the tubes on the sides of his head are actually separated out from the back of his neck, so they are floating there, which looks really good for the overall profile of his neck and head region. And then these right here, they kind of the sides on the bottom of his jaw, they are separate as well, so that looks really good. For his spines, they're really nicely sculpted. They're perfect proportionate. These are really thin where these are thick. There's even grooves in here, and they're perfectly proportionate, and they all look really nice, and that's carried on through the entire back and all the way down through his tail, and that's really, really good. I'm really glad they're all sculpted individually and stuck on there. It just makes everything perfect. He's got even the little back hatches and things These thruster jets are looking really good. And then his tail, which is just incredible. There's so much detail in just the tail alone, going all the way down to the tip, which is the little trident kind of looking thing that this Mechagodzilla has down there. So everything's looking pretty good. And this shoulder, obviously, with the replacement area there. And one thing to note is that these shoulder pads on either arm are actually floating pieces, so this can actually kind of pop off. It's just like kind of pegged in there. It happened like when I took it out of the box originally. It kind of surprised me, but completely normal, nothing to worry about there. Kiryu here does come with one accessory for kind of a different sculpt, and he does come with the drill hand, and this is super easy to put on. All you have to do is take this hand, just pop it right off. No issues there. Then you just take this, and there is a little nub on the back there. And this one's a little bit more difficult to put in than that hand is, because this is so small, where this has like an actual like fair amount of vinyl. And this you just kind of get in there and twist around until it is on there. And then you have him with his drill hand, which looks really cool. It's definitely really, really long. It's way longer than the actual hand is. So that's pretty interesting. It's like his fingers grow when it turns into a drill. That's good design. But this is definitely sweet. Really kind of like if you want to have him pose with the drill hand, it definitely helps you. So it's definitely a really cool accessory. I'm glad that came with it. Just it's the only thing that comes with it besides the instruction manual on how to put the tail on, which is super easy. And that's about it with the just that. Being a Mech X Plus figure, there actually is some articulation that it can do, and it's just super simple stuff. You can move the arms about this much, and then they'll kind of swivel right here as well, so you can kind of get him opening his arms up, and then of course his wrists and the drill will spin around. So that's cool. It really doesn't affect the sculpt overall if you just have mechs with rotation, because they were supposed to look robotic anyways, so it doesn't really bother it if they're able to rotate. For the paint on this, it's really just this almost two-tone silver, where Mechagodzilla does have like a darker appearance in this movie. He is just this kind of gunmetal that's like a light silver that has like these kind of darker highlights like on his arm in the middle of his spines here. You can see they're a little darker, and that's just kind of cascaded throughout the entire figure. And then of course in all of his tubing and wire areas you get the almost like dark silver, not quite black, but it's there, and that looks really nice, and that's everywhere, including on the tail and behind the legs, which are missed on a lot of the regular figures, but this is an X Plus, so you kind of expect the paint to be right. And then he does have the red lines up here on his face, and the red triangles on his kneecaps and on his arms, which are nice. And then of course his eyes are the one piece behind that are yellow with the second piece up in front of it that is the clear. And that's about it for the paint, considering this is Mechagodzilla. I guess there is this one red stripe right here on the inside of his arm, but other than that it's just the silver you expect from Mechagodzilla. Overall, this Mechagodzilla does bring a lot to the table if you're looking for a movie accurate representation of the Kiryu 2003. This is definitely the figure you're going to want to pick up, either that or the one with the backpack and the laser cannon arms. But this is definitely a really good figure. It just came out, so it's pretty easy to find for a relatively decent price, usually ranging from $165 to $200. You can buy them anywhere, Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, Flozzy's Gifts, wherever they're available right now. So if you're looking to get one, I'd go and pick one up pretty soon before they get harder to find and they start to get really expensive, like as we know X Pluses tend to be. But this is definitely a really, really awesome and fantastic looking figure. The sculpt is perfect and the painting is great. There's only minor like defects, but that's just because it isn't a silvery gunmetal paint, and that's usually hard to apply to things with the consistency. So there are kind of some hiccups here and there, but there's no other problems with it other than that. You just got to be wary that the shoulder pads can pop off because they are separate pieces. But it's an incredible figure. Before I go, I'm definitely going to show you guys the box before I forget. This is the box. It's just got a cardboard with printed Mechagodzilla in the front of there with your information. It's got PX, X Plus Garage Toy, the sticker down there of Godzilla. Definitely just a kind of a plain front. The sides have nothing, and then the back just has your legal stuff, you know, the diamond distributors, warnings, things like that. Nothing else. The sides and the bottom are both empty, but definitely a sweet box, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is awesome. And if you guys are wondering how big this is compared to some other stuff, this is next to the Bandai Creation or Monster King Mechagodzilla. It just came out. That was supposed to be a foot tall, and as you can see, he towers over it. And then we just got some Bandai figures with Shin Godzilla and the new Mechagodzilla, and then that's the SH Monster. It's Godzilla 1954, so he's definitely a big one for 30 centimeters. This figure is just incredible. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Leave me a thumbs up if you did. And I definitely recommend you guys going and picking this up pretty soon. If you do, or if you are a huge Mechagodzilla fan like I am, he's like, Kiryu is one of my favorite monsters of all time, so I had to get this when I saw it, being released again. And I plan on getting the Godzilla that goes with this soon. So, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.